So I have set up a bolster on my mat as I was kind of checking in beforehand what it was that my body was needing. But you might also feel, I want a semi-inflated slow ball. One of the things that came in for a suggestion today, and some of you may take it, some of you may not, is taking a strap and looping it up. Sometimes, after all of that work that we've been doing, the psoas, the lower back, the shoulders, um, sometimes even wrists and neck get a little bit overloaded with the anticipation, the delivery, the preparation as well. And so sometimes offering a really nice release to the body is what is needed. So I'm going to stop for a couple things here. You might find setting up in heart bed, which most of you know how to do, is something that resonates for you. Or you might find taking that loop and putting it around your pet leg. So I've got contrasting colors here so you can see me. I always try to notice what color is my mat, my pants, my props. So I'm going to put a block in between the legs. I'm going to use a purple one because it's a little bit different color from my strap. And just gently squeeze the block and have the strap around mid thigh and just tighten it just enough so that the legs can feel supported. Now, if you're just wanting to go down and put your legs over a bolster, you feel free to do that. If when you touch the floor, you need a little bit of movement, my body's asking me to do a little wipe ring. So I'm going to do it while I create that containment for my legs, my lower back, and my sacrum today. But this is a practice for you. So I'm going to give soft invitations today. But I really want you to listen to your own body. Sometimes when we drop down into practice, the body just wants to immediately go into stillness. And sometimes we meet our body, and there's a little bit more of a Raja energy that is coming through, asking for a little bit of movement, some range of motion through ankles and wrists, some range of motion through the head. You might even take a semi-inflated slow ball and tug it to create some lips. And then a ball on the other side, and you might want to place that behind the back of the neck and the head. And as you arrive here to meet yourself, you may take a few breaths in the nose and out the mouth with a sigh. Each time you exhale, and maybe make an audible sigh through body, might be an invitation to just notice what part of the body releases. Maybe for nervous system regulation, you want to go into a few pursed lip breaths. Inhale through nose, pursing the lips, blowing it out through the pursed lip just to extend the exhale. We all know that when we lengthen the exhale longer than the inhale, we calm the nervous system into the parasympathetic relaxation response. If you have your arms beside you, you might check in. Do I want to bring the arms a little bit away from body? Do you want to open the palm of the hands and reach the back of the fingers, the thumbs towards the floor? Feel how that very gently opens the whole arm chain of muscles from the tip of the fingers to the shoulder blades. And then just let the fingers and the thumbs soften. You'll notice the palm of the hand stays a little bit more widened, spacious. Start to let your awareness just feel the heaviness of your body. Where are you heavy? And what is accompanying you into the practice? So maybe as we move through the koshic layers, it's the body holding or offering sensations through different parts of the body. It's a higher level of sensations. Does the body need a little support or a different shape? Notice the diaphragmatic breath, leaving space for the breath to exhale out the mouth when it needs. Just watching and feeling how the body is responding to the breath. Notice any thoughts swirling through the mind, different emotions that are present through the Manamaya Kosha. As we pause in stillness, taking some time to reflect when we first started the immersion back in June, noticing all of the knowledge, the wisdom that you've gathered, the experience, and all of the growth that has unfolded for you. Always allowing space for yourself and all of us to come back to that beginner mind. And as we move through our practice from this place of learning and growth, then we allow space for that insight to come in. That reflection that you had yesterday, or maybe overnight, on how it felt to offer the first session to the second private session that you shared and received. Taking a moment to just be with all the layers of self. And through the doorway of the heart, through the front, through the shoulder blades, the back door, into the Anandamaya Kosha, this bliss body, and that essence of spirit or soul, giving yourself some space. The arms are down by your side. Just see how they feel when you lift them up and bring them in line with the shoulders. If that's doesn't feel good on the shoulders, then just lower them a little bit to find a place that feels good for you. And you might even turn your head just to look to see, does a one arm kind of tend to be a little bit higher? Notice what it feels like for those of you that are enjoying the strap to lean out into the strap and breathe into the side of the rib cage. Maybe do a little reaching through the fingers and the thumb. And as you exhale, soften, maybe squeezing the ball or the block inside between the thighs, feeling the gathering of body. As you inhale, just expanding out. If you have the strap, you might lean out into it. Just a little exploration of Viana Vayu, maybe out at the top of the head. And as you exhale, there's a softening in, a gathering into your center. You release, maybe squeezing the block or the ball in between the thighs. Just allow yourself as you inhale to expand energetically your physical body through breath on the inhale. And then as you exhale, gathering back into yourself. Maybe the feet press into the floor. And just notice this feeling for you. You might just pause that and bring the arms up. So you inhale and then cross them over in front of the chest. This is a really nice way by Liz Cook to help to release the psoas, which is one of our kind of invitations today of releasing lower back and pelvis and nervous system. And then just notice which arm is on top as we inhale, opening the arms to the side. And then as you exhale, maybe you squeeze the block as you cross the other arm on top of the chest. And just flowing back and forth as you inhale, opening arms. Exhale, crossing the opposite arm. You might even feel here the head wants to turn from side to side. Sometimes when you open the arm, you might turn the head one side. You'll feel the release through the neck and the shoulder down to the fingers. And then back to center as you cross the arms over. And then inhale, open, turn the head to the other side. Come back. Just do a few times. Notice what is working for you today. And that's complete. Allow the legs to go up. Maybe releasing if you have a strap, a block, the body. Taking a moment to drop the legs into the chest. Maybe a hug. Maybe a few ankle and wrist circles if you haven't done that already. And an option here, if you have a slow ball, you're more than welcome to bring it in underneath the pelvis. Or you can just be on the floor too, and just going into some pelvic tilts. So just take a moment to arrive, be on the slow ball, and then you're just going to pelvic tilt back and forth, either on the floor or on the slow ball. Let your breath guide you as the sit bone tailbones reach forward to the back of the calves and up. You feel lower back release towards the floor. If you can bring in your exhale. And then as you inhale, sit bone tailbones reach towards the floor, lower back arches gently away from the floor. And then notice how far this pelvic movement ripples up the spine. And you feel the whole body integrating through the spine, the lower back, the middle back, the neck, and the head. So you do these away the floor, leading with the pelvis, letting the breath accompany. If you want to go into any other movements, maybe rolling from side to side or half moon. You might feel a little spinal twist coming in. Sometimes it's nice to explore even putting the semi-inflated slow-mo ball in the lower back for this one. It's optional. You might bring the arms up, opposite hand touching opposite elbow, and then letting as you exhale, the legs go to one direction, the arms to the other. Maybe noticing if that SH breath supports you here to gather the ribs together. Inhale, going back to center, and then exhale to the other side. Just taking some time to move the spine in all directions to warm up, to release. And body have its space here. And then when you're ready, you can release the slow ball if you're using it. And we're just going to do a little psoas release. And we're just going to be flat on the floor for this one. So you're going to keep the knees bent and you're going to inhale, exhale. And we're going to lengthen the right leg. So let's take a moment to point the toe, flex the heel. As you point the toe, you might inhale. And as you exhale and reach out through the heel, you might, as you point the toe, you'll inhale. And as you reach through the heel, you'll exhale. You might notice as you point the toe, you'll feel top of the foot, ankle, shin, thigh. You're going all the way up into the psoas. And then you go into the back of the heel, feeling the Achilles, the calf, the hamstring, the sit bone, the lower back. Maybe you feel it all the way out the top of the head. And you might roll the leg out and roll the leg in. Sometimes it feels really good to do it with the toes pointing to release front body a little bit more. Sometimes it feels really nice to reach through the heel to release back body. You're going to end here with reaching out the heel. So the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And you're going to check that you have a nice neutral pelvis. So sometimes I've got my hands on my pelvis, which helps me, but you choose what feels good for you. And then you're going to reach out through inner outer heel. Try to keep the lower back and the pelvis kind of pressing and leaning towards the floor. And then you're going to elevate the leg. And you're going to come up just when you look down, no higher than the hips. We're not going above the hip. You're just kind of reaching out so that you're in line with kind of the highest point of your thigh. And then as you keep reaching out through inner heel, outer heel, rooting the lower back into the floor, you're going to allow the leg to move from side to side. So still keeping the toes pointing upright, you're going to move the leg out to the right, just hovering off the floor an inch or two, back to center, and then across towards your left foot, and then back to center. And then just do that one more time. Go across to the right, center, and then to the left, and then see how you feel. If it feels nourishing, you might do it one more time. So we're just toning and releasing the psoas. And you come back, rest the foot, slide it back. Take note one side to the other. And then you're going to inhale, exhale, lengthen through your left leg, point and flex. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. Yeah. You might roll the leg in or out. And reaching out through the heel, feeling the right foot attentive on the floor. You might even have a little rooting through the right foot. And then allowing the reaching out through inner outer heel as the left leg lifts, only to try to keep it in line with the hip. When your foot is on the floor, it's a little bit lower than the height of your hip. So you're only going up about an inch and a half, maybe two maximum. And then you're going to allow the leg to go out to the left, toe stay pointing up, back to center. Try to keep the connection of that SH breath as the leg goes across to right and center. And then one more time. Out to the left, center. You're also strengthening some deep muscles in the inner and outer thigh. My body's asked me to do one more round, but you check in with yourself. Release, come back up. Okay, take a moment. Now we're going to go into a little release for the arms and the upper psoas. So depending on your range of motion in your arms, some of you might bring the bolster overhead. I know first thing in the morning, my arms don't like to come to the floor, so having a little support with a bolster to support my arms as I bring them back feels really good. Just check in. You might bring a block in between the legs for bridge. Lengthen the back of the neck. And as you root down, arms are by your side, palms down, you root through the feet. Maybe it's a gentle squeezing of the block, or if you felt really nourished by leaning out into the strap at the very beginning, you can even recreate that feeling of rooting out as you reach the arms up, fingers point to the ceiling, inhale and exhale overhead. So goal is to try to keep shoulder blades and the back ribs evenly rooted on the floor. And you're going to inhale, arms up, fingers point to the ceiling, and exhale down. Go back and forth at your timing. Inhale, fingers and arms reach up. Exhale, overhead. Now check in. Maybe the arms need to widen, so there's no need as the arms go overhead to keep them shoulder width apart. Some of us have shoulder injuries, so creating more space is going to be more nourishing for us. Notice if the ball of the shoulder is pulling away from the socket. Especially if you have a shoulder injury, you might feel quite nourished to drop the ball a little bit more or tug it, draw it into the shoulder socket, and it will anchor the shoulder blade across the rib cage a little bit more. Okay, and then we're going to go into bridge. So rooting down through feet, letting sit bone, tailbone reach forward, up, chin coming towards your chest, coming into bridge pose. And then if you choose, you're more than welcome to bring the arms in and up as you reach overhead. Maybe the arms come all the way down to the floor. Okay, if you feel that you want to be in a more supported variation of bridge, then you feel free to go into maybe supporting with a block. You let the spine slowly roll down, the pelvis, the arms lift up as you inhale, back and down. Just kind of play with rolling up as you root the feet through pelvis, lower back, middle back, upper back. And then maybe the arms reach up as you inhale and exhale overhead. Take your time. Notice how many rounds you want to do. When you want to come out, maybe you draw the legs into the chest. Maybe there's a baby pose or just a rocking here. You decide, do you want to grab ankles, feet? Maybe you want to release the hips. If it feels better to roll over onto your side and sit up and release the hips and seated, feel free to go there. And I'm just going to create some space for you to allow yourself to move in a way that feels good for you. If you want to stay on the floor, maybe choose 3 to 5 things to flow through. If you do want to kind of follow along, I am going to scroll over to the side and just come up to seated. If you want to follow, feel free. You can choose one leg to be crossed in front, and then I'm just going to open the hips a little bit more by circling. As you come forward, you can exhale, and then as you bring your right hand by the right hip, you can turn your fingers behind you as you press the hand into the floor, and then the left hand down. Now, if you can't touch the floor, you can always have a block behind you to come up. I like this really nice opening on the chest here. You're doing full circles as you exhale down. You might have right hand behind you, lifting the heart, left hand behind you, rolling forward. Do as many times as you want in one direction, and then take a moment to pause, extend your legs, shake them out, and then switch the crossing of your legs just so you're equally releasing both sides of the pelvis. And then you fold forward. Hands might come behind you. Remember, your fingers can point behind if you do want to go back at all. Uh, Check in if body wants to go into a little arm release, rest shoulders. Okay, so you might interlace the fingers. Sometimes our fingers feel a little bit sensitive, so you can always put the palm of the hand on the back of the hand. And you can press forward. We'll just turn sideways for this. A couple of us are flying together. You can lean back through shoulder blade. We're just opening now the back door of the heart. Allow the body to come up. You may feel we want to do a little flow here. Sometimes it's really nice just to inhale, lengthen up, and then exhale as the arms and come down. The palms of the hands turn towards the chest, and you exhale, press out. Inhale up. There's an oppositional movement of reaching up and down. Sometimes it's nice just to place the hands behind the skull and reach the elbows to the sides of the room to release the shoulder blades as they squeeze together in the rhomboid. You might hold the elbows in and come into a protraction of the shoulder blades widening and just going into a seated cat cow spinal waves. You might do this on hands and knees or elbows and knees. Inhale, feel the widening. And exhale down. Sometimes the hands just want to be down. If at any time a side bend wants to come in. And then just seeing you want to just pause, maybe even go into the child's pose. Couple options here. You might just pause in child's pose for a moment. Some of you may feel that you just want to go up into downward dog without release the leg. Feel free if a plank or some strengthening on abdomen wants to come in, or a bird dog on hands and knees. If a bird dog does want to come in, might come up onto hands and knees or elbows and knees and feel that flat back coming in. And then reaching the right arm forward and the left leg back. Maybe the arms and the legs come off the floor. See if the extended arm of the thumb and point up towards the ceiling. And it drops the shoulder blade and the ball of the shoulder into the socket. Rooting down through the right hand, the left shin, knee, foot, as the left arm, right leg extend forward. Maybe bringing in an SH breath here. You might go through a couple times on each side. Something that my body is calling for, but sometimes not always nourishing for everyone, is rolling from forehead, maybe side to side while in child's pose. You might roll from the third eye center in the eyebrows and then exhale and roll up more towards the hairline, maybe onto the top of the head. Might find placing the hands in front of the knees. I've got quite a hard floor, so I always practice on double mats here for this one, but just note it's just rolling the head from side to side on the forehead. Or if you want to release the scalp fascia, you choose to exhale and roll up onto the part where the forehead meets the hairline, or maybe onto the top of the skull. And then inhale back to the forehead. Depending if you want to be a little bit more dynamic and what shoulder was feeling today. Some of us might even interlace our hands on the lower back and want to lift up with the hands, just feeling the shoulders open. If that's not nourishing, you can always either seated or in Vajrasana or Virasana and interlace fingers and drop down. Sometimes the head wants to move up and down in a yes motion or a no motion. Good. And just kind of notice how you feel. Take a moment to either feel something else that needs to come in for you. And see, do you want to lie back down and start or end where you started, or do you want to sit? Just going to take a moment here to offer an invitation to come back to the three-dimensional breath. Or maybe the eyes stay open or close fully, or maybe you have a scarf or an eye pillow that wants to cover the eyes. And we do put soft pressure on the eyes. We do connect to the Gesserian nerve, which speaks to the vagus nerve, which connects down into the heart. It helps to slow our breath down and our heart rate. You might even feel doing a little palming, rubbing the hands together, creating some heat, sometimes an intention of maybe a word or a phrase comes in. And you might feel you want to offer that over the eyes. Being seated, you can always just let the triceps just rest on the chest. You let your head relax into the weight of holding hands holding the head. And notice any reorganizing that happened through body, any smoothness that flowed through the breath. Notice if the hands want to stay there or release. As we can feel a few more pauses or softening in the thoughts. Longer emotions that maybe accompanied us into practice have softened around. feel more organized and integrated through all of our layers. Feel more of a sattvic quality in your guna, qualities in nature and within us. Just thank yourself for being open and receptive throughout this immersion, and all the things that you've acquired and learned. Sometimes after the practice, when we have a little bit more spaciousness and the mind is calmed and the body has settled. We have moments of insight that want to come in, or questions, or something that's swirling around. Do write it down, and we'll have time to reconnect after the break.